Welcome to That's Good Sports NFL Week 17 Power Rankings episode. I'm Brandon. My Brian Flores Coach of the Year pick looks a lot less stupid now, Perna. It is Week 17, but we still have another week of gratuitous regular season football after that. Today, I will rank the 14 most powerful football teams in the NFL, and yes, we will curse one of them with the spin wheel of pain. Who will it be this week? It last cursed the Rams. Now, they did not lose, but Stafford threw 3 picks. So maybe this thing still works. Oh, number 9? Number 9? Who did I put at 9? Uh-oh. Please, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Otherwise, I die. Or you can support this channel by purchasing my coffee, Benchwarmer Brew. This is the backup blend. We've got 3 blends, 5 Points and Urinating Trees blends. We only use specialty grade coffee. What does that mean? Specialty grade coffee is the highest grade of coffee possible. So I'm like the best QB on Pro Football Focus, the highest grade possible. Now, the cheapest way to get my coffee is through the subscription plan. You can subscribe to any of the blends at any frequency in any quantity you want. It'll save you some money because coffee ain't cheap and shipping's even worse. But BenchwarmerBrew.com, check it out if you like coffee. If you don't, then what the fuck are you doing? Okay, here's the current NFL playoff picture. And right now, I fully believe all of the best teams are in the playoffs. You could argue the Chargers are a more talented team than the Dolphins, but nobody wastes talent better than the Chargers. Plus, the Dolphins' defense is legit, the Chargers is not. Now, after the Chargers lost to the Texans, I took you off the power rankings altogether, Chargers. You are the only team in the NFL who has a top 10 scoring offense and currently does not have a spot in the playoffs. Number 14, the Dolphins. Miami became the first team with 7 straight losses and 7 straight wins in the same season. And maybe when we fully evolve as a society, they can become the first team with 7 gay losses and 7 gay wins in the same season. Now, Miami sacked Ian Book on Monday Night Football 8 times. Tua threw 1 bad pick in that game, but the 20 points Miami produced was 20 more than Tom Brady's Buccaneers. The caveat, the Saints had 22 players out of this game. So, I can't wait to watch Tua play with an offensive line that's just average in pass protection. I know he looks boring at times, but I think learning to play QB in chaos is like forging steel and fire. The Dolphins' offense doesn't do much well, but scheming touches for Jalen Waddle is something they do well. Something I wish the Broncos would do with Jerry Jeudy. Waddle's 10 catches on Monday Night Football tied Jerry Rice for most ever by a rookie. And if he gets 6 more grabs, he can set the rookie record at 102. I do have to say it though, the quality of the Dolphins' opponents during their win streak is suspect at best. 1 impressive win in that span against the Ravens. Number 13, the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo injured his thumb trying to like John Lynch's weird apology tweet about Jimmy G and Jesus and Christmas. Now, Twitter is a dangerous place for players, as Garoppolo chipped a bone and tore a ligament in his thumb. There is a chance Trey Lance plays this weekend, but Jimmy has stated he wants to start. Number 12, we've got the Eagles. Philly, you own the final spot in the NFC, courtesy of the Jake Fromm and Mike Glennon experience. The Giants' front is tough to run against, but you managed around 130 yards on Sunday, which is like 50 yards to a normal rushing offense. Your 163 rushing yards per game is still the best in the league, just ahead of the Colts. But unlike Indy, you do it by committee. You remind me so much of the Ravens when Lamar Jackson and 30 of their other players are healthy. And now that you have Lane Johnson to replace Zach Ertz, the sky's the limit. Number 11, the Cardinals. Somehow the Cardinals clinched a berth in the playoffs after losing 3 games in a row. Losses to the Rams, Lions, and Colts, and it doesn't matter. They've backed their way into the postseason, but no longer have a grip on the NFC West. I saw Tim Tebow do this for the Broncos. Unfortunately, you cannot play the Steelers in the wildcard round. So number 10, I've got the Patriots. After looking like the best team in the AFC, the Patriots have dropped 2 big games in a row and went from the first seed in the AFC to the second team in the AFC East. New England's defense is allowing the fewest points per game, tied with the fucking Denver Broncos at 17.3. The difference is the Patriots, with the rookie QB and a competent offensive coordinator, have averaged 6 more points per game than Denver. Mac Jones has thrown 4 picks though in the last 2 games, which is a huge reason Bill Belichick's New Year's resolution is to have Mac Jones murdered. Jones against the Colts and the Bills had his worst and 3rd worst completion percentages on the season at 43.8 and 57.8. Jones will have to play much better in New England if he wants to upset anyone this postseason. Number 9, I've got the Bengals. Oh shit, I have cursed the Bengals again. Oh, and you play the Chiefs. Uh-oh, Bengals fans are gonna hate this. Do not piss off Joe Burrow, because he will drop a shit ton of yards on you and not feel bad about it. The Ravens' defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, slighted Burrow by saying, "I don't think we're ready to buy a gold jacket for Joe Burrow yet." Bold thing to say when your entire secondary is injured or has COVID. Burrow said, "Oh yeah?" Then he went out and threw the 4th most yards in NFL history against a division rival nonetheless. And honestly, it also makes Vic Fangio look like even more of a defensive mastermind. T. Higgins looked like Randy Moss, Jamar Chase looked like Jerry Rice, and Tyler Boyd looked like Marvin Harrison against the Ravens. A team that, granted, was a little undermanned, but still the Ravens. Since he does have a pretty tough last 2 games, getting Kansas City before traveling to Cleveland to play the Browns, who beat the Bengals by 25 points the last time they played. Number 8, it's the Rams. Sean McVay said that running back Darrell Henderson will go on IR with his MCL sprain, but running back Cam Akers has a realistic chance to play this weekend despite tearing his Achilles in July. That's a 6-month recovery time for a torn Achilles, which sounds insanely short until you remember an entire human can be built in a uterus in 9 months. Now, I've already stated how important I think the emergence of Sony Michel is for the Rams, and he was the 3rd leading rusher this week behind Rex Burkhead and Rashad Penny. What a weird group of top rushers. Number 7, I've got the Titans. The Titans have done their job and successfully coasted without Derrick Henry. They had been without A.J. Brown for so long that they nearly forgot their best bet on offense is to force feed A.J. Brown, which they eventually figured out and used to beat the 49ers. According to reports, though, Derrick Henry could return in Week 18 to knock off some rust before the Titans start the playoffs. Considering it's King Henry, that's not rust, just gold dust, and he will have 80 yards on 11 carries. There's a good chance Henry breaks 1,000 yards in a season where he only played in 9 out of 17 games. He still has the 6th most rushing yards this season at 937 and the 7th most carries. Henry may have had over 450 carries on the year, which would have put him ahead of the Chiefs' Larry Johnson in 2006, who had 416. Now the Titans have a tough task in front of them. They have to play the hottest team in the NFL. No, not the Packers, not the Colts, the Miami Dolphins. If they can survive that test, they have the Bills Mafia and the Houston Texans waiting for them in Week 18. Bills Mafia will travel to Houston to destroy the Titans. Number 6, it's the Bills! And Bills Mafia, I need you to start digging some graves out in the desert right now. I want to see you bury every team you play until you land in the Super Bowl. Not only do I love the Bills, I love that the Bills are winning with former Broncos receivers Isaiah McKenzie and Emmanuel Sanders. Why the Broncos decided to cut Isaiah McKenzie, I will never understand. Other than it was 2018, and we were an even dumber team than we are now. Josh Allen and Isaiah McKenzie could both be Broncos right now, but I digress. Josh Allen is playing out of his gourd again. Some of his throws against New England will have you mistaking him for Aaron Rodgers. His passer rating of 104.4 isn't just a sports talk radio station somewhere. It's essentially a perfect passer rating against that Patriots D. The Bills line did not allow a sack on Sunday, and I don't love that a big reason for that is Josh Allen had 12 rushing attempts. But he's fucking great when he's rushing the ball. And if that's what it takes moving forward to get to the Super Bowl, let Josh run 10 times a game.
Buffalo all the way this time!
Number 5, I've got the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have clinched an NFC South title for the first time since '07. When they were led by Jeff Garcia and John Gruden. The Bucs do have the easiest final 2 games to close out the season, but will now be without Shaq Barrett, who has a knee injury, and Mike Evans, who is on the COVID list, in addition to being day-to-day with a gammy hammy. I will give Tom Brady a massive W for this quote in regard to a reporter asking Bill Belichick what his New Year's resolutions were.
No, not right now.
Now, Tom said, I want to be as brave and courageous as she was, asking that question to Coach Belichick after a loss. That's what I want for the new year. Bravo, Tom. Now, Tampa is 4th in the NFC playoff seeding, and however it shakes out, they will play the worst team in the wildcard round per Brady's deal with Satan. Number 4, it's the Colts. Yes, ahead of the Bucs, and I don't care that Tampa won in the head-to-head a month ago. After seeing Tom Brady falter last week against the Saints, Jonathan Taylor again is my 1A for MVP. He's closing in on 2,000 yards from scrimmage and 20 touchdowns. Meanwhile, the Colts defense is getting more stingy, giving up just 33 points in the last 3 games. We all know about Darius Leonard, but the unsung hero on the Colts defense has been linebacker Bobby Okereke, or Okeruke, however you want to say it, who leads the team with 118 tackles to go with 2 picks and a sack. The Colts have the Raiders and the Jags to finish the season, so there's a very good chance this team finishes 11-6. Number 3, it's the Cowboys. Defense, defense, defense. Dan Quinn has done a tremendous job getting the most out of the Cowboys defense. Trayvon Diggs has 11 picks on the season, the most since another Cowboy, Everson Walls, did it in 1981. His 11 picks are more than 12 other NFL teams have totaled this year. Dallas is a dangerous team heading into the postseason because of their opportunistic D. Quietly, they have amassed 33 takeaways this season, which is the most in the NFL. As a unit, they have 25 interceptions, and yes, that's 5 more than the Patriots, who have the second most this season. If Dak and that offense can stay hot, hell, just mildly spicy in the postseason, they can beat anyone.
Dallas Cowboys!
Number 2, the Packers. Speaking of turnovers, the Packers own the best turnover differential in the NFL. They received a huge boost courtesy of the officials and Baker Mayfield, but this stat is impressive for one reason and one reason only. Aaron fucking Rodgers. The Packers defense has 7 fewer takeaways than the Cowboys, but because of Aaron Rodgers' 4 picks on 295 attempts, Green Bay is plus 16 in turnovers. Aaron Rodgers said Devontae Adams is the best player he's ever played with this week. Here's one reason he may be right. Adams is the only receiver to ever record 8 games of 10+ receptions, 100+ receiving yards, and 2+ TDs. And the only reason I have the Packers at 2 is they should have handled the Browns a little more efficiently. Number 1, the Chiefs. The Chiefs are like a movie. A movie you've seen a dozen times, and every time you hope for a different ending. even though you know the villain is going to kill a dog in the final minutes. The Chiefs are every movie where a dog dies. They are disgusting and despicable. After their performance against the Steelers, the Chiefs are now top 5 in both points scored and points allowed this season. Dating back to the Packers game with Jordan Love, the Chiefs' D has allowed 7, 14, 9, 9, 9, 28 to the Chargers, and 10 points. To close out the year, they have one tough game against the Bengals this weekend, and a scenario where they may be able to rest their starters against the Broncos in Week 18. I'm not saying that means the Broncos will beat them, just that the Chiefs could rest their starters if they so choose. And probably screw over the Broncos by losing that game and forcing the Broncos to have a worse draft pick. No. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports Power Rankings episode. Don't forget to check out the best and worst Week 16 edition that's up on the screen right now. You can click it. I recap all of the NFL games from the weekend.